Hello, everybody. I am DT, and this is. Who are you? Who are you? Up there, this is the Brady Bunch. There's a story. A man named Brady, who was busy with 3 boys of his own. I think that's how it goes.
Yep.
They were 4 men. Okay, so anyways, there is no right and there is no wrong. There is an up and there is a down. No, there is only down. Down is down everywhere on a flat earth. There's not a ship or people swimming upside down. Oh, this is really great, Andrea. So anyway, so this is Andrea and I am DT. And very soon, very soon, and like minds think clink. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Clink. Okay, clink. Yeah, great minds. We are representing the United States that is flat, by the way. There is no curve. Airline or flight attendant, excuse me, it's not 1970. Stewardesses, that's PC now, PI. But anyways, there's so much in my head all the time. There was this a flight attendant.
After yesterday, I had to take a 2-hour nap. I was so overloaded with information and I can't even explain it. It bombarded my brain to a point where I was just exhausted. After I woke up, I continued and went to bed and slept all night. And usually that doesn't happen, but
right. So there was this guy, and I don't know who it was, that he put a compilation together of taking numerous flights, and then when they landed, cockpit door opened, and he would casually ask that pilot, "Hey, what did you see? Did you see when you looked at the horizon? Did you see curve or flat?" Every single one of them says flat, and then I almost said stewardess again. The flight attendant says, "Oh yeah." He goes, "What's the most vivid example, like proof for you that there's something going on here that we've been lied to?" And she said, "Well, let me tell you, every single time that the visibility is, at its zenith, we can see from Kansas to the Rockies."
Oh wow.
And that's 1,000 miles. And that would be if you take David Weiss, which, by the way, David Weiss and I are going to meet up, which is fantastic because I'm an author and a music producer, and from anybody that has watched me before, or then the collaborative work that you and I have done, I, like David, did not believe in a flat earth. It wasn't necessary. I'm not so prone to say that I ban people from uttering its notion to me. I'm not built like that, because I know the value of the all-inclusive and that the universe doesn't understand no's. If you're saying no, you're saying yes in this all-inclusive universe because you're moving your mouth. And when you give anything attention, it doubles. So you can't scream no at something that is unwanted to you long enough or loud enough without you making it more of a presence in your life. And the universe goes, he certainly wants more of that because he wouldn't be looking at it for so long and making it a big hot button. So let's give him more. And people that don't know that, that's a degradation slope in vibrational resonance, that as you go along this path and you know the value, like Andrea, you and I talk about all the time. We talk about the value of suspending doubt, guarding your thoughts. My mother used to kind of go along this way, rest her soul. She's probably back already. She's probably already, in her next incarnation, I think. I don't know, she may be wandering around here. She used to always say when somebody would say something negative, she'd go, "Oh, cancel, cancel, cancel." My mother always had this thing. My mother was like from the, I don't know, she was like a femme fatale, you know. Well, you remember my mom.
Yes.
She had big old beautiful knockers and a real small waist, and she was like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom at her best. Well, my mother would go, "Stop being fresh, fella." Like that. She like, "Stop being fresh, fella." Like when I would tease her and stuff, I would like kiss on her or something, and she'd go, "Stop being fresh, fella." Like that. It was so funny, and I'll never forget that expression, because I mean nobody else says that. So but my mom would say, "Oh, cancel, cancel, cancel," because my mom along the way, like whenever she would get like when she got her inheritance from her parents after they passed and stuff, she was on her own quest, and she went to the Monroe Institute. I think it's somewhere in Virginia or somewhere. I've never been, but along the way she studied Ramtha with her friend Carol, and she went to the Monroe Institute. These things aren't cheap. Like if back in Oregon, do you remember the Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh
Oh,
up in
yeah.
Antelope?
Yeah.
This is so funny. We've never talked about this. This is really funny. And I think when I get this, I think that perhaps David will be looking ahead and looking at the latest installment of what we talk about, probably. So I'll refer to him. I think he and I are going to be like brothers. I mean, we're going to be like, I really honestly think that after we're together, that we're going to be together like forever. I just feel that. But anyways, where was I? Oh, so for anybody that doesn't know, is basically a cult that they had to wear shades
Red.
of no, it was lavender, pink. It was in the lavender, fuchsia, pink zone into purple. Is and they had a, if I remember when we were out, you know, because I've always been a kind of stinker, and I used to like see them down at the coffee shop down on First Street or whatever riverfront or wherever it was in Corvallis, and they would like
Oh, yeah.
wander down from the hills with their robes on,
Yeah.
and yeah, and they would all be drinking their organic brewed coffee. But I would tease them and go, "Hey, you're backsliding, or you're not following the guidelines. I mean, is this acceptable? This is not pink. This is
What
not
are
pink.
you doing? What are you doing
This
here?
is orange." And I'd disturb them, you know, they'd go, "Yes, it is. I am too. I'm a devout follower." And I'd be like, just being a stinker, just yanking their chain. But anyways, yes. And so, and then there was this expose on them at some point, and they took cameras up there, and this guy had, by the time that they went to air, they put this on the news, he had 33 Rolls Royces. By the way,
Right.
yeah, by the way, this cult, you had to abandon all worldly possessions and give them to who?
Him.
The Bhagwan. Yeah, and so he would sit there Indian style and give you his seminar, his symposium, and you had to live there. You had to cast off all material possessions, because of course that would keep you from the divine and from your ascension. But he felt perfectly comfortable in taking them on, and all your mortgages and your cars. And then he liquidated that stuff in the buildings, and he would buy Rolls Royces, and he would parade them up. Like every so often he'd make an appearance after it got really big, and they'd all go, "Oh, there he is," and they'd follow the Rolls Royces. And I'm like, anybody else seen this? I mean, really, you know, yes, let's shred all things that keep us, you know. It's like, you know, I'm going to start my own. You guys can bring it all right over here. We'll take it.
Give me all your money.
Yeah. Yeah, so my mom kind of, I feel like she kind of went to one of those places where, you know, I mean, it was expensive. I mean, I think it was like $5,000 back in the day for like 3 weeks. And I mean, like, but you know, we're all on our own journey and our own thing. And so the question that I think that of all notions of all things, you know, back when we first started, and I would say I pinned something and it and there's 13 things that, yeah, while they're important, let's not get distracted. There becomes something that, like your Facebook thing, that you want to keep highlighting, so no matter how many comments or how many posts that you do, bam, that's the thing that you're promoting, whether it be a new
Right.
single or a concert. by the way, I'm really excited because I get to work with somebody that we worked with way back in the day from the Weather Girls that recorded It's Raining Men, and she worked with CNC Music Factory, and and she's done other things. And we just reunited. I just sent her a new original piece, and it's so exciting. It's so interesting because Paul, that wrote Last Dance for Donna Summer and wrote It's Raining Men for the Weather Girls, was my partner back in the day. And the fact that he's been gone for a long time, and then our other mutual co-producer friend just passed away, I think two years ago now. I've kind of picked up the baton, but we all had one thing in common. We all loved and were fascinated with powerful female voices. Like, that means Streisand, that means Cher,
Right.
that means Martha Wash. I mean, just, she's so amazing. And I'm not saying that we've signed anything, because we haven't, and nothing is clad, but it's really nice that we're back in and speak again and stuff like that. It's really interesting. Anyways, so there's all these things. So I was just using that, like I would pin something when it happens to the top of my Facebook or social media of the most recent project that we're working on, to solicit it, to sell units, to lead you to an album, to lead you to a movie score. So in that same fashion, with our talks, I constantly am like, this takes precedent right now, all eyes on this, don't allow it. Because you know how the MSM would love to just keep on derailing your vibration and resonance through fear and boogeyman tactics, and go chasing your tail and keep you off your center. So that's what I mean by pin. So each of us in our own way need to know the value of pinning the most prioritic thing that is of the utmost, not urgency, but it's likened unto that. It's
has
just
the value at the time. Has the highest value at the time.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that it has changed only like 3 times since this election was stolen. I can say that on here, so that's really fun. So then we found out that Myanmar's election was done in the exact same way with the same machines, and that they turned that back around. They arrested everybody, locked up the fraudulent president, and moved in the military. And I said at that time, that's our pin. We look no further than Myanmar for what's going to be happening there, because it's the model that's going to be happening here, and so forth. So anyways, where we are right now, and it would seem weird that it seems like they're unrelated, but we find out that they're absolutely related, is flat Earth. Because now we find out, like David Weiss says, well, why does it matter? You can't be everywhere. You can't, it doesn't matter in one lifetime. If you live to 100 even, if it's flat or if it's round, you're never going to be able to be only in so much of the real estate of it during a lifetime anyways. And there's plenty of opportunities to just live your life and never consider whether it is or whether it isn't. But David Weiss is right. It does matter. It doesn't matter about that. It matters that they lie. Why did they lie? So majorly.
Deception, not just lying, but the total encompassing deception of everything.
Right. And the answer is because all manifestation is the fallout from thought. So the universe can only deliver to you the substance of the equivalent of how you've been feeling most recently, about how you've been feeling about what you've been thinking most recently. That's a lot of words strung together. It's not giving you exactly what you're thinking. It's giving you the equivalent, the overall about how you've been feeling about what you've been thinking. So in other words, the universe is built in the pro and not the con, which should be good news. So meaning one slippery, bad, disparaging, negative, or 10 of them down here in the mud, where you forget not to think that way, lest you get more of it, can quickly be undone with one just supercharged, easy, free, fun feeling. And then all of that gets turned around and your boat stops steering upstream, gently turns to downstream, and you go back into easy again. And when you do, then more things can find you again. Well, this whole extorted, swindled narrative and notion brought on for probably a millennia by those that are tyrannical monsters that want to subdue others in a game because they're trying to swindle that there's not enough, that there's a limited supply, that it's dog eat dog, and this could come crashing at you from a vacuum in space at any time and knock you out, and you're not important and you'll be gone. And that's all a lie, because they don't want you to remember your power and how beautiful that you are. Because collectively, David Weiss, I was watching a show today, and I liked how he filled in something I didn't even know needed filling in. And he said they're soul collectors, like they're luring souls. It's called the solar system, the solar system, the solar system, the solar system. So they've made the model of faraway planets and things all in K-lights. K-lights is good. Yeah, I'm wearing my hat so you don't see my K-lights. No. But that we're hurling through space. Yeah, this is another thing. David and I have this in spades because I have photographic memory. You know that I'm not shy to say I'm a geniac. I know a lot of stuff and I have it retained in certain things. I know that at the equator, we're 1,000 miles an hour. I know 66,600 miles an hour around that star. I know 500,000 miles that star going around that galaxy, allegedly in the heliocentric model. And I know about 1.3 million miles to the left and down into deep, who knows what land. While we have geocentric satellites hanging on for dear life through this whole spin of mess, no. So and you can feel your way in this. Actually, when you get astute enough, you can feel what feels right, because when you know universal law, you know that all of that would be impossible, and that it's too harried. In fact, the sheer movement and thing itself is messy and riddled with mayhem, and the universe is never like that. Look at a flower. Look at the process every single time of dropping a seed onto fertile soil and the produce that it yields. It's not chaos. It's by design. It's godly universal design. It's in the air. It's like the old Tartaria. It's in the ether. Voltage was collected. There's bounty in the sheer abundance of it everywhere. In fact, you'd be hard pressed not to find abundance everywhere when you really find out. So,
well, and the whole point of this is, and the reason they've created what they have is that you focus on the TV, you focus on the life, and the treadmill and and you don't look up and you don't look at nature, you don't see how things work and go, that doesn't make sense. This makes sense. And start thinking for yourself and start looking around. That's why society is like it is, to draw everyone's attention away from the truth.
Right. Well, like the Georgia Guidestones, for example. David is with me on this one as well. So we know that R.C. Christian in 1981. I told our audiences this a while ago. I have all the information. I know about everything, and I may be a little bit more in some senses, that it's like David knows more in specialized field of like what he's doing, and he's brought it to me, and I'm so thankful. I'm just such a happy recipient. But in like fashion, I've got some stuff going on over here that the two, when they marry, oh my Lord, it's going to be phenomenal. And you are phenomenal. I'm not putting weighing one or the other. I'm just saying it's really interesting, isn't it? When the student's ready, the master always mysteriously appears, and we bring it for you all. And I believe now that we're one of the 144,000 star seeds that bring it to bear for this time, don't we? Because it feels like I'm being called but it doesn't feel remanded or some kind of duty. It's not a duty, a laborious thing of drudgery. It is exhilarating in every ending of every
Pieces
nerve.
falling
All
together.
my nerves are just like exhilarated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the pieces are naturally, comfortably together.
Mm.
I mean, just the thing about, you know, me looking up the farm that drew us to the book that, you know, I mean, it's crazy that it's that easy. If you
Yeah.
really, if you open yourself up to the truth and you let it come to you, it's unlimited. It's phenomenal. I love it.
Right. And a lot of people have heard from me, DT, through time now, enough time, 6 months, I'd say, here in different shows, about a lot of stuff, a lot of heady stuff. And it could get overwhelming. And then one would think, phooey, it's too fresh fella, I'm doing my mom. That it's too much. Like I'll never, ever retain it all because I don't know how he does it, but it's not for me. Although it feels right and I like his style and the way that he's delivering it. I can feel that he knows it. It's still too much for me. So I always say, remember, it's not about collecting all the information and getting it right or getting it wrong. Peel back all of that and forget that. Give yourself a self lobotomy if you must. And remember that if you can just remember this one thing, just merely take a break from thinking at all.
Yeah.
And grow that. The monks did it in meditation. They used breathing apparatus, intended breathing, not for what the breath itself is doing to the mechanism, but that you can't sustain two thoughts simultaneously. So while they were intending their breathing, they weren't thinking of any other thought. See, that's what was never told to all these different cults or Jim Joneses or Ramthas or Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh or the Monroe Institute or any other esoteric philosophical endeavor or Abraham Hicks that drew an audience. Now, Abraham has said this. And by the way, that movie, The Secret, they approached Abraham Hicks, and it's based on Abraham and Jerry and Esther Hicks that channel Abraham, the Collective of 25, but they wouldn't sign off. And so they weren't included in the movie. And ironically, the real secret in the movie entitled The Secret was left out of The Secret.
Typical Hollywood.
Typical Hollywood. It's so amazing. And if you'd like to know that secret is really relax. Just stop everything. Just stop everything. And that is what the TV and this box is trying to swindle you into forget in longer and longer periods. The more that they can captivate you with their imagery and their teams of millions of dollars of software and captivating, whoa, look at this. Oh, it's burning, exploding. They're going to take over this. Watch out. This is coming through here. It's like, so when you know the value of just being chill, cool, relaxed, take it easy, nothing from the outside, nothing from without is actually manifesting opportunities and material and or influencing aspects of your life at all. Nothing from without can do that. All generation of manifestation that you end up experiencing only emanates from within. It can't, it's never, somebody's opinion doesn't alter your manifestations. Your inclusion of their opinion does. See, so I like that one a book by Terry Cole Whitaker called "What People Think of Me Is None of My Business," and it sounds haughty. It sounds, when I say it, it sounds like I'm saying, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about you. And that's not what it is. It's, I'm literally, passionately creating over here, and I'm literally, it's none of my business because I know my business. and it's creating affirmatively. If what you think of me excites me and thrills me, trust me, it'll be brought over, and I'll be inspired by it. But today I know the value of only eagerly seeking and looking for and eagerly anticipating thrilling things on purpose, not because somebody told me that I had to, but because I know, because I'm a capitalizing bastard. I am capitalizing on secret, I guess, secret information about universal laws that definitely produce wanted results every time when you do this. So why would I alter course and water down the potential of slowing down the manifestation of things showing up for me by dabbling over here in the murkies? I don't anymore. And it's not like, oh, look at me, I'm better than everybody else. I'm not. I'm just less limited than you. If you're not already, Andrea, have you ever heard me complain?
No, never.
Do I ever disparage somebody else and put them down?
No.
Do I glorify myself and go, look at me, I'm the only guy in the world that's ever gonna get this? Right, because the truth is, WWG1, WGA, where we go one, we go all, and that'll always be. And if you don't know that, then you're still in limited thought. And it's not bad to be in limited thought, it's just limited. And it's self-inflicted, by the way, it's self-inflicted.
Speaking of limited.
Yeah, we have limited time on these, right?
So we've been going for 35 minutes, so you've got 5 minutes left.
I have 5 minutes left, and then we'll start another one.
Okay.
Why don't we cut this one now and start the other one now?
Okay.
Okay, so here we go again. So we will put these together. This is part one. And then, so that was all interesting. And then we'll talk a little bit more about Tartaria specifically, and about stuff like that. We'll just do that. Okay. So we love you all. We'll see you shortly. Over and out.